You've all seen the Bob Blob now, many times I'm sure, but did you know Chaos has been able to do something similar for quite a while, featuring Archaon and Armored Chaos Trolls? Yep, this is Get Up Mule. He's up against Aneurysm Sauce's Greenskins, and funny enough, neither of them have actually brought any terror. So the immune to psychology on the trolls won't matter at all here, but let's go ahead and get into it as we look at the builds here. Archaon slinging a fireball. He's got the Swords of Chaos at his side. That heavy fire and armor piercing melee damage will be very good at countering stone trolls. We've got some Chaos Poison Warhounds, of course, the two armored Chaos Trolls. We'll touch back on them more in a moment. They'll kind of be the focus here. Got Demon Spew, some Chosen with Halberds, interesting choice, and Marauder Horsemasters out at the flank. So relatively narrow Chaos build, but elite, kind of tall build, if you will. We've got some Night Goblins up front, Savage Orc Biggins out at the flanks, Wurzag, Bob leading his blob of trolls. Got Air Boys, nice AP damage there, and also Wolf Rider Archers supporting the flanks, great for countering these Horse Masters, which currently they are not doing. They're just getting some free jabs in there. But let's talk a little bit more about Armored Chaos Trolls, what they bring to the table versus Stone Trolls. We can kind of have a little bit of a direct comparison here. So Armored Chaos Trolls, they do have one chevron here to have a little bit better leadership, attack, and defense. 110 armor is very significant. 100 weapon damage with 24 charge. Of course, Stone Trolls are decently armored as well. 70 armor is definitely pretty good, but it's not amazing. Their tankiness mostly comes from their magic and missile resistance, right? So a little bit of a difference there, and they do also do a bit more weapon damage. Here come the Armored Chaos Trolls in the front line. The Orc Airborns will still do decent enough damage to them with their AP. They're basically like crossbows, right? But they definitely munch these Night Goblins first. You can see the Bob Blob now charges in to counter the Armored Chaos Trolls here. And this specific unit's probably going to have a pretty bad time right now, given the Stone Trolls' heavy AP there. But nice to see some troll-on-troll action. Nice Burning Head also rips through the line there. And here come the Swords of Chaos for a nice rear countercharge, but Wurzag manages to put the pin in that, stop them dead in their tracks with that effigy to the gate. There's no real follow-up there, but just to be able to prevent them and now tie them down with these goblins, prevent them from getting a clean engagement into the Stone Trolls there, is maybe enough. The Chaos Trolls are holding out quite well, though. You can see, especially with Archaon amongst their midst, supporting their leadership. They're also fighting on top of Chosen with Halberds, which is going to even out that engagement quite a bit as well, that elite anti-large AP. Although they are taking a severe amount of damage, they're also dishing it back pretty well in return. And you can see here that the supporting Gobos are just about done. The Stone Trolls themselves are really not happy in terms of leadership. The Swords of Chaos were able to come in, get a nice charge, pick off a few kills there. They are still getting bogged down pretty heavily, though, and the Biggins have now moved in. A nice Brain Burst there on the Demon Spew, have been mopping up this flank themselves. Managed to disrupt these Air Boys pretty severely, it looks like. And, oh man, might get hit by that Burning Head a little bit there. No big deal. Wa now being popped, though. Slightly late, as Bob has actually been just destroyed by Archaon in the Swords of Chaos in melee. I'm sure because he was on the pig, too, that the Halberds may have played a role in that as well. But that does lead to the Trolls routing, the Stone Trolls, that is, and the Armored Chaos Trolls still standing firm. And against a unit like Biggins, the armor helps a lot. I mean, obviously against something like Black Orcs, it wouldn't help too much, but those non-AP anti-large units, I mean, Biggins still have enough weapon damage and enough AP that they'll be significant, but the armor certainly helps quite a bit, and 110 armor is good. Like, I would say, a lot of times you guys might hear me say that, like, 60 to 80 armor is okay. And it is. I mean, 70 armor on the Stone Trolls is definitely pretty good. That's solid. Don't get me wrong. But really, like 90 to like 110 is where it starts to get really good. And 110 armor especially is like, at that point you're getting 55% at least mitigation on non-armor piercing attacks, up to 100%. And it makes a pretty significant difference. Yeah. At some point, if I ever do a video about armor, specifically like a deep dive on armor and weapon strength, I may talk a bit more about that. But Archaon coming into the late game, cleaning things up with a nice cascading fire cloak. Looks like on those Stone Trolls they routed anyway, or was that on these Knights here? Yeah, looks like Knights got both actually, cascading fire cloak and standard eye, up to just massive melee defense there. They're going to come in, and despite their low model count, their splash attacks and high damage means they'll still mop up quite a few of those arrow boys there. The Chosen and the Trolls just moving up, blending through what's left of the infantry. This is a pretty interesting combination here. I'm not the biggest fan, as you guys may or may not know, of the Chosen with halberds, but the fact that they're kind of anti-large AP to help protect the Trolls, and the Trolls give them something that they lack significantly, which is mass to fight monsters, right? Like monsters and cavalry and chariots can just plow right through them generally. The Trolls, though, giving them some mass, it's an interesting combination. Definitely very interesting, and it is going to prove victorious here against the Greenskins, so a very fun build from Get It Mule. I actually have another one kind of featuring the same strategy, again against the Greenskins, to show you. We'll do a double cast today, but yeah, I love this build. Very interesting. I mean, again, I would maybe say, given that you don't have any armor sundering in this build, it kind of makes sense to have the AP of the halberds, but I just wish they were a little cheaper, to be honest. The shields are more cost-effective in many ways, and even against stone trolls, that 70 armor is low enough that, like, that's kind of where it starts to make sense even to bring the shielded ones. And given that, I mean, the stone trolls are the main thing I guess you would want to have the direct counter for, and the Chosen with halberds definitely, I would say, are a direct counter for them. If there's one thing that halberds can counter decently, it's monstrous infantry. I find it's generally their best, kind of the thing they counter best. But anyway, that's a little bit off topic. Let's go ahead and just take a minute to honor those demon spew there. 248 kills, 95 Chosen with halberds there. Both the Trolls started with 1 chevron, I believe, and both managed to gain 1 more over the course of the battle. So they definitely generate some really nice value. And yeah, 52 kills on the Hounds there. Marauder Horsemaster is able to play out in the mobile engagement and keep things going. So pretty good stuff there. Let's go ahead and get to the next replay. And we're back. Archaon going deep this time with 3 Armored Chaos Trolls. He's got some aspiring champs for additional leadership. A unit of Chosen with shields for a nice backbone. A bunch of Marauders up front this time. Definitely a bit wider. Got Horsemen and Horsemasters. Probably mixed. Yep. Go up to 6 as per banner rules. This is against a different Greenskins opponent, but again against the Greenskins. And again, both of them didn't bring terror, so the immunopsychology won't matter at all here. This time, though, it's not quite a blob. Instead, we've got 2 stone trolls, 1 on each wing, and a river troll here in the center. There's no hag, so the 1 river troll kind of makes sense, at least to get the debuff. Although I will say it'd be very easy to just cut 1 goblin or something from here and upgrade these stone trolls to the swamp things. Regiment of Renown, that would give the Greenskins some terror here. But anyway, big ends also. We've got Nasty Skulkers, Arrow Boys, and a bit of a different kind of Greenskins build, but similar. Gobbo Big Boss, Skarsnik leading the way, and a Night Goblin Great Shaman. So, a little bit of a skirmish phase here unfolding. The Spider Rider Archers also are a nice counter, especially in a little bit more volume here, and do decently kind of harassing these Marauder Horsemen. They're not going to do a ton of damage to them, but they'll keep them pushed away and just continuously pressured and uncomfortable. Might even do decently in melee too if they can get a wall going, but that zap comes in, blasts a troll, but you see it doesn't even do much damage there, and he's going to be able to easily regenerate that. Like this troll boy, no problem. And I hear a burning head going off. It's going to roast through the Greenskins front line. The Greenskins are able to mostly dodge it, it looks like, so pretty well done there. Those stone trolls might have taken a tiny bit from it, but not really too much. Does overrun into those Savage Orc Biggins a little bit, so not a complete dodge, but still. Greenskins now moving in. Marauders could potentially even get an attack order and just kind of pressure those Spider Riders away, but for the time being, we've got Archaon moving in to delete this very brave Gobbo Big Boss who came in on a wolf here and is just completely unprepared for a fight of this caliber. But here, the Stone Trolls, Armored Chaos Trolls immediately going to counter directly in. Man, I don't know if they updated the models of Chaos Armored Trolls at some point. They must have, because they look really good. Even like fighting 1v1 with these Stone Trolls, I would say the unit models are kind of on par in terms of quality. But yeah, very fun stuff. You can see Chosen also moving in here now. The Aspiring Champions fighting in the main kind of front engagement here. Savage Orc Biggins also. In terms of how the engagements are going, it's kind of a wash back and forth. This flank, though, could potentially be a problem. The Marauders already being broken there, and Armored Chaos Trolls here are going to take a little bit of a side charge. Nice burning head, though, will come and rip apart those Savage Orc Wiggins. It's going to come through and just mess with this blob, too. Kind of hit a little bit of everyone. And that's fine. And maybe even hit these Goblins, too. Ooh, the Marauders take a bit of it. Goblins take a tiny bit of it. Archaon's going to get enraged here, but it looks like the Armored Chaos Trolls actually were routed from this frontline engagement. This River Troll's now routing as well. These Chaos Trolls holding out, and these ones also routing at this point. So things looking a little grim. The Greenskins this time around, kind of getting spread out a little bit more. And yeah, with more troll-on-troll action, too. But here, these Chaos Trolls, maybe they didn't rout. They get a nice little rear charge in here. I might have missed that. The banners are a little bit hard to tell apart sometimes. Anyway, they actually now get routed, though. Okay, there we go. And these Savage Orc Wiggins, again, they're going to do pretty decent damage, but the 110 armor means that, like, these Spider Riders on the chase, they're not going to do a whole lot. Those Trolls could potentially regenerate a bit, get screened out, and come back to the fight. This big degenerate blob, though, Archaon's going to rip another burning head through and do quite a bit of damage to the lighter Greenskins units, rather. The armor of the Chosen will help them hold quite well against that, even if you do a little bit of friendly fire. Archaon himself is doing just fine. Standard Eye going to buff the melee defense, and the Aspiring Champs and the Chosen both up to like 84, 86 melee defense apiece. So without the melee attack buffs of WA, these are going to struggle. That anti-large and weapon damage will help a bit, but the anti-large obviously doesn't help against these infantry. But that will make a difference in the troll fight. You can see, speaking of which, we've got some trolls rallying over here for the Warriors of Chaos. They've been able to kind of sweep up with these mobile forces, kind of overpower the Greenskins here, and recover this unit of Armored Chaos Trolls. Still a full 12 unit models there, so potential for a comeback here. Balance power not looking great for the Chaos Trolls right now. It's just all trolls, to be honest. They're going to get in here. They'll do some nice damage to these air boys. With the Skulkers, though, Skulkers are actually a really nice, cost-effective counter for them. They're a cheap AP unit, and especially with that smoke bomb, they can keep them bogged down and just swarm them with tons of AP unit models. Even though they don't do a whole lot of damage each. I mean, there's 120 of them to start, but another fungus going off to debuff Archaon there. Another beautiful troll charge here into the side of these armored trolls, and will this actually be enough to force a big rout right here? These stone trolls do actually rout. WA now being popped, though, will help against Archaon's spooky fear. And it helps kind of do a little bit of damage here, but a lot of the Greenskins units actually routed for that power spike. Some melee damage being done probably from these air boys on the Marauder Horsemen, who are trying to get on them in melee, which is a little nice here, but now the Greenskins are looking to turn things around and get their counter charge back into the blob. It's just waves of trolls, honestly, in and out of this blob here. If Archaon can finish off Skarsnik, though, that will be huge. It will be a major blow to the Greenskins' leadership, and Skarsnik versus Archaon is, I mean, Skarsnik's got a lot of HP, but so does Archaon, and Archaon's just a better combatant in terms of stats. Even with the anti-large factored in. So, yeah, Skarsnik does get routed there. Archaon is going to hold for the time being. He's got Slayer of Kings active, which means he just deletes some river trolls right here. Maybe, maybe not. Trying to push through to get to something specific, it looks like. But a nice itchy nuisance there. Very nicely done to debuff the melee attack stats. The Chosen down to only 17 melee attack. Chaos Trolls down to 14, so I really like Itchy Nuisance. It's such a cost-effective spell. Probably one of the best debuff spells in the game, if I had to be honest. But Spider Riders, they're pushing through. Archaon's going to slap them around a little bit, and that big rout there was potentially decisive. I don't know. The problem now, though, is that Chaos doesn't really have the tools to follow up on this. Like, they were able to get a pretty big rout right there and rout a bunch of the Greenskins away, but now the Greenskins kind of reforming. Archaon's going to push forward with his little blob here. And another fungus goes off. Skarsnik is still alive here, so very pitched engagement. But Skarsnik almost immediately gets routed and then pounded by armored trolls here. Will he go down? Spider Rider's now getting rear charge and a smoke bomb to debuff all of the Warriors of Chaos, to lock them in, keep their speed, you know, set in place. Not quite a full snare, but pretty close. Chosen just kind of, aspiring champs, just kind of forming into a little circle here, trying their best to hold out as the trolls rout. But another troll comes in for a side charge, and it looks like, again, the leadership issues for the Greenskins may become pretty real as Skarsnik is routing away. Now, can they follow up on this? The problem is there's still 1, 2 units, 3 units of trolls for the Greenskins. And Chaos only has 2 units of trolls, and one of them's routing. So, if you just go purely mathematically based on the troll numbers here, it's still not looking great for the Warriors of Chaos. Oh, Air Boys do shatter there. These stone trolls are back from rout. Archaon's going to sling a fireball at Skarsnik. Can he get the 360 no-scope? Oh, he hits him, makes contact, but doesn't trigger the explosion, unfortunately, so does not get the finishing blow. And these Armored Chaos Trolls, they're not feeling too hot in terms of their leadership. As they regenerate HP and they get a favorable melee engagement there, also helps recover their leadership a little bit more. Over here, the Aspiring Champs get caught out by the Stone Trolls. That's bad for them. Their low HP means they'll get mulched through pretty quickly. The Chaos Armored Trolls are going to countercharge in here one more time, try and free up those Champs. The Champs will support their leadership as well, so they might actually be able to win this engagement, recover these Trolls back together as well. The Chosen, though, are pretty exposed here as well. Without the support of the Trolls, they're fighting these River Trolls, doing okay. As I mentioned, the shielded Chosen, even though they don't have AP, the 70 armor of the Stone Trolls, or the River Trolls even, I only have 40. Yeah, that's obviously not enough, but even against Stone Trolls, they'll do okay. Here, they managed to shatter the River Trolls, but now the swarm of the Skulkers and the Stone Trolls may be too much. Balance of power has equalized significantly, though, as more Trolls being broken here, those Stone Trolls shattering. I didn't catch Archaon. Yeah, he's still just chasing Skarsnik, and he finishes him off there, which could be pretty decisive in terms of leadership. You can see that does make these Air Boys immediately shatter. And the question is, will this charge be enough? A little janky camera work there, but a little bit of a problem here. These Chaos Armored Trolls charge forward, and the Skulkers and the Biggins in particular, the fact that they're supporting here and the Aspiring Champs, I mean, they're late to the party, number one, and number two, if they had been in there, they might have been enough, but unfortunately, the Armored Chaos Trolls rout right in the nick of time and kind of triggers army losses. Oh, that was so close. That was super close. Very well played to Get Up Mule and Newport both. A very, very fun battle. And, yeah, some beautiful troll versus troll action, which is what you all come to see here on this channel, I'm sure. So, yeah, 153 kills for Archaon, 163 for the Chosen with shields. Yeah, the Aspiring Champion's able to get 31, but really the leadership support there for the Trolls when Archaon's not around is pretty nice. The 3 Trolls, you can see one of them 79 kills and an XP Chevron. One of them 39 kills, the only 6. So the troll numbers here, you were to sort of total it up, it's pretty close actually in terms of the troll versus troll kills, but 38 and an XP Chevron for these Stone Trolls. I'm not sure, they must have got more troll kills specifically. But the Spider Riders being able to kind of not necessarily win, but trade well in the mobile engagement with the Horse Masters was pretty decisive, I think. It was a very close battle, I have to say. A few differences back and forth on either side, and even maybe a little bit of different RNG could have changed the outcome, but were very well played to both, I have to say. Yeah, 85 kills. The Skulkers were definitely MVPs here, too. And that's kind of the one downside of the Armored Trolls, is that they are pretty weak to kind of cheap AP units, which there's not a ton in the game, and they're not super common, but many of them are relatively common against the Warriors of Chaos, just because they are sort of thought of as a heavy armor faction, appropriately so. They've got a lot of heavy units. But yeah, the Chaos Armored Trolls are definitely something you should consider. Only 950 points as well. They are considerably cheaper than Stone Trolls. I say considerably. I mean, 150 points is pretty substantial. 110, or yeah, 1,100 for Stone Trolls. And again, we already compared their stats somewhat, but Chaos Armored Trolls, the plus 40 armor is not insignificant. That is pretty substantial. I'd be curious to try them against maybe Bretonia. High Elves is a little tricky because they have so much fire damage, and the lack of magic and missile resistance means they'll die a lot harder to things like Dragon Breath attacks, yeah, Sisters of Avalorn, things like that. So it may be a little bit riskier against High Elves, but definitely it's an interesting pick against the Greenskins too, as sort of an answer to their trolls, and just in general to have like kind of the mass unit stacked on top of the like either the Shielded Chosen or the Halberd Chosen even. That's an interesting combo that I haven't personally tried, but I'll have to give it a go as well. But yeah, we didn't see the effect of the Crown of Domination, but basically the key here is the Archaon. You take Archaon, and I mean, granted, he's very strong now. He's probably one of the strongest. He's probably the strongest Horse Lord in the game, I'll say that. He's very, very good for Warriors of Chaos, even meta, I would say, in some matchups. But yeah, just being able to buff them, especially with like Cascading Fire Cloak, is nice for that extra melee defense and armor-piercing damage. Burning Head, you know, Burning Heading, that's a verb for sure. Giving Burning Head? No, that's not right. To whatever the Stone Trolls are fighting, obviously very effective as well. If they're up against something which is weak to fire damage, then, or weak to magic damage, you can use Cascading, or not Cascading, Flaming Sword of Ruin as well. Lore of Fire generally just quite good, but this is the real thing here, is this Crown of Domination item, giving an AoE immune to Psychology constant. And I know a lot of you guys complained in my Chosen video that they didn't have immune to Psychology, which it is a little strange that they don't. Archaon can give them immune to Psychology, though, and he's had this ability for quite some time, so +4 leadership also is significant. For something that has as low leadership as Trolls, especially like the 1 Chevron with the +4 leadership, it's like an extra +5 leadership overall. That's decent, you know, it makes their leadership from 40 to 45, which is enough of a difference that it could matter in some very critical kind of close engagements there. But yeah, very fun stuff. Big thanks to Get It Mule for sending those ones in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.